Hello my amazing artists, this is Miss Golestani. In today's project we are going to draw and then color and cut butterflies and bees to add to our floral collage background that we made last week. In order to make your pollinators, bees and butterflies, you're gonna draw them, and there are how to draw pages on our website that you can use. And you can refer to, so if, for example, if you want to draw a monarch butterfly from the side, you can start from step 1, then go to 3, all the way through the 7, and draw your butterfly sideways. You also can draw your monarch butterfly from top, more like a bird's eye view, by starting making something more like letter X, and then adding the body parts and other details for the wing and the patterns. There is another how to draw sheet on how to draw a honeybee, in which you can find steps on how to draw your bee sideways. Okay, let's get started. After drawing our bees and butterflies, first of all, we have to pay attention to the size and to the proportions. Proportions means when you are comparing a size of one thing with another thing. For example, how big the honeybee or the bee would be if the tulip is this size, or if my orange flower is this size. Am I gonna make it too small? Am I gonna make it too big? Or am I gonna make it just right? So we call this proportion. Consider the right proportion when you are drawing your bee or butterfly. So we need these how to draw sheets. You don't need to print them, you just can look at them on your computer screen. We need a 9 by 12 drawing paper. We need a pair of scissors, and also a glue stick, a pencil, and a Sharpie, eraser. And then for coloring your bees and butterflies, you either can use colored markers or colored pencils, or you can use both, or colored crayons. To start drawing my pollinators, I am going to first of all take a look at the collage work that I made last week. Okay, how big my flowers are. And probably I need to draw my honeybee a little bit smaller than this one, or almost the same size as this one, not bigger. So I'm gonna go with this size, and I am going to follow the steps. I put the paper right beside me when I'm doing that. You also can download 2 sheets which shows you different names of different body parts on each of these pollinators, okay? So that you know which part you are drawing. I'm gonna start by drawing my honeybee's head. It's more like a circle, but it's a little bit pointy here. Then I am going to add body parts. So here is the big, large, dark eyes. You can do it right now, or you can do it at the end. Then I am going to start by drawing the thorax, which would be more like a round shape again. And then I am going to add the abdomen, which is more like a leaf shape. So it's pointier on the bottom and it's round on top. And now I'm gonna trim it a little bit. I think it's too big. Just gonna make it a little bit smaller. Again, I am going to take a look at my collage piece and see if this is the right size. The next part would be to add antennas, add eyes. So we just can see one side, and we're gonna draw a big oval for this side, and then 2 curved lines for antennas, and then we're gonna make the abdomen striped. So I'm gonna add some curved lines here. And to start adding your wings, you basically need to draw 2 triangles. Here's one, and we're going to overlap many pieces. And then the end, instead of doing a straight line here, I'm just gonna do very organic, more like a curvy line. And then I'm gonna repeat my line back here, the other side of the thorax, and then this back wing is overlapped by this front one, right? So that's that. And then details that I need to add are legs. We know that all the insects have 6 legs and they have 3 on each side, and their legs are coming out from their thorax. Since we are looking at the bee sideway, we just can see probably 4 of its legs, and I will show you what I mean exactly. So I'm adding 1, 2, and this one is pollen basket on the back leg. So here I am going to add this rectangle to show pollen basket, and then I am going to just make the legs thicker and pointy at the end. So 3 legs here, but I can see the other one from the other side as well. So that's what I'm gonna do. So the bee is done. Now I'm gonna draw my butterfly. You just can draw a bee or 2 bees if you want to, or just butterflies, or both. It's up to you. To draw a butterfly, again, I'm looking at the butterfly, and I like this one because they're facing each other, but it doesn't matter, honestly. So to draw my butterfly, again, the size would be almost the same as the bee. For drawing your butterfly, make sure that you have enough space for the wing. I did it once and I didn't have enough space for my wing, so I erased that. I'm gonna start my butterfly by drawing its head from on here. So I'm starting by drawing something more like a round edged rectangle, edged rectangle, so the edges are not sharp. That is the head. And I'm gonna add its thorax, which is an oval, and then a skinnier type of abdomen. It's skinnier than honeybee. And then I'm gonna add the eye and also 2 antennas, and then proboscis, which is basically a spiral line when I want to draw it. For the wings, I'm gonna start from where the head and thorax are meeting one another, and I'm gonna go all the way up with a diagonal line like this. I'm coming down with a diagonal line like this, and this would be somewhere where the wings are separated. So the bottom ones or hind wings, I'm just gonna connect these 2 ends of lines with something more like a curvy line. And then this part, actually I want to go a little bit further, and then I am going to create a nice edge with curvy lines. And it seems that the forewing is overlapped by the hind wing. It seems like that. So I'm gonna add those, and then you can add your patterns now or later on using a black Sharpie. And you can add your own patterns. It doesn't have to be a monarch butterfly. I may go with my own imaginary patterns. Okay, now that I'm done, I'm just gonna make some of these open curved lines to show my butterfly's abdomen. And then when we check from the side, we usually can see, again, like bees 3 legs, maybe 1 on the other side, or maybe not. For this part, you guys can use black Sharpie or black skinny marker, up to you. And I'm not gonna trace over the lines that I want and that I don't want, okay? So for example, first of all, if I take a look at the pictures of bees, I can see how fuzzy and hairy their thorax is. So for creating that feeling, I'm just gonna use some zigzag type of edges to show those hairs. If you have a skinny Sharpie, you can use them instead of this one also, because right now we are really working on details. Okay, and then I'm gonna trace over this. We call this type of drawing observational drawing, when artists look at the reference images, look at the pictures of different things. For us, it's bee and butterfly, and then drawing them. Sometimes they look at the pictures of those things, sometimes they look at those things in the real life. For example, I may want to draw a tree, I may want to go in the backyard and look at the tree and draw the tree. We call this type of drawing, again, observational drawing. Or I may want to draw some vegetables and fruits or flowers. I will set them up at the table, look at them, and draw them. By observing them, I will draw those subjects. Right now, I am just tracing over the lines that I made, but then I'm going to add, especially with my butterfly, I'm going to go with my imagination and add some patterns. I'm going to add another wing on the other side, just to this part. Before I start coloring my drawing, I'm just going to erase all the pencil marks. Looking at the picture of monarch, I can see that there are many black and yellow orange patterns, more orange I would say. I don't want to do exactly the same. I'm just going to get inspired by them. So I really like some of those black edges, and I may want to use them for my butterfly. Black edges for the wing. You guys can do something different. And then I can see that there are some lovely white dots in some areas, and I'm gonna add them to my butterfly in a different way. Now I'm going with some imaginary patterns that I like for my butterfly. Again, I may look at the image of monarch, but not going to do the same thing exactly. And again, you guys may want to do something completely different, some other type of patterns. Go with your imagination and be creative. When you are doing these type of works, adding designs, the most important thing that you need to think of is having fun and just relax, enjoy the whole process, okay? I'm gonna move on to my honeybee or bee and see which parts needs to be darker. I definitely can see that these black lines are not exactly lines, they're thicker, so I'm gonna just add some thickness to these. It's interesting how honeybee is fuzzy and hairy. And then, although that the wings of honeybees are almost clear and transparent, there are some very fine lines, which are veins, that you can add to your bee's wings. And now we are going to start coloring these two lovely creatures. For coloring my bee and butterfly, I'm taking a look at the pictures of bee and butterfly on the internet. I am taking a look at the collage that I made, and the reason is I want to decide which color I want to choose for these two. I'm not just gonna start coloring. I also know that since I am an artist, I can make some changes and use my own imagination. So for this one, I may go with this neon pink, and I'm using marker, but then I may also add some color pencil or crayon. We will see. For this one, I'm gonna start with this yellow. I'm going to use purple color pencil for some areas. Okay, my butterfly is done. Now I'm gonna work on my honeybee. For the honeybee, I'm starting by using yellow marker first. Then I am going to do some shading with orange color pencil just to give it some sense of 3D look. So I'm just gonna go under the thorax to show here is not facing the light, and then on the head. And then for the wing, since the wing is almost transparent, I am going just to use a very light blue color. Now it's time to cut these two out and then glue them down onto our background. For cutting out your shapes, I have a suggestion for you. We have lots of details like skinny legs or antennas, which are not easy to cut. First of all, use both hands. My right hand is the cutting hand, my left hand is the driving hand, and I am just cutting around my butterfly like this, and then I will go through the details. And by details, I mean around the wings and the abdomen. I'm not cutting the legs out. It's not easy. I'm just gonna go around them. I'm not cutting the antennas out. Let me show you. Okay, now if you take a look, you can see I am just going around the legs here, and I'm cutting this whole thing out without even being worried about each and every one of these details. Head, yes, I'm gonna cut it out right beside the antenna. I'm gonna cut the whole area out like this. Okay, this is my butterfly. Now I am going to cut out my bee. Since we want these collage pieces to pop up from the background paper, we need something to make them stand out, and for doing so, we're gonna use the rest of our white paper. And what we are going to do is to cut a ribbon out, or 2-3 ribbons out. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna roll them around my finger and then use a Scotch tape just to make a ring like this. That's what I'm gonna do. I make 3, 4, or 5 of these. This one is too big. I'm just gonna cut it in half. 4 rings for now, and I will see if I need more. Now it's time to mount all these pieces together. We have a nice background waiting for us, or waiting for our pollinators to go and enjoy their time. And you guys can make more than 2 pollinators. You can make more butterflies, as I mentioned. Now what I'm gonna do, I am going to come up with my background, how I want it to be. So come up with my composition, how I want it to be. I know when I put these pollinators on my artwork, I am going to overlap some of these flowers. And that's actually what gives my work a realistic look. So here I feel that I need to do a better job cutting around these legs, but I am not being very worried about cutting every single detail. I'm just doing my best. Now it's better. For the butterfly, what you can do, you just gonna start cutting out something like letter V, and I'm not going too close to my antennas, butterfly's antennas. Something like this in between legs. Okay, now I am going to figure out my composition, where I want to place these, two, and then I will start gluing them down. Since the flower is red, I am going to use my color pencil, and I'm just gonna color these areas. I'm just gonna go over this part with yellow. Now I'm going to start gluing my butterfly down by putting probably 3 of these for my butterfly using the glue stick. I am not putting the glue on the back of my butterfly. I am putting it on 2 sides of my rings. So 1 goes here, 1 goes here, and 1 goes here. And then I will find the old place that I had for my butterfly. You also, instead of this glue, you also can use white glue or Elmer's glue, this one. And for the bee, I may want to just cut in between antennas right now. Since my bee's antennas are pretty thick, they're not too skinny. And then for the bee, I may need also 2. I have to make 1 more ring. Since my bee is on the orange flower, what I can do, I'm gonna try color around the legs, all these white areas with orange. However, I have to be careful not to rip my paper. And I'm using turquoise for this area. Okay, my pop-up pollinator collage art is done. I hope that you guys enjoy this project. Try to make this collage art and have fun. Thanks for watching. Bye.